Welcome to Thomas Fidone in 6 plays. If you're not familiar, what I do in this series, I like to take a look at a prospect and break them down in a limited number of plays just to kind of showcase what type of prospect they are, what they can do, and then how that translates, how that fits to the next level. And today we're going to take a look at Nebraska tight end Thomas Fidone. Here's a guy that's 6'5", 243 pounds. He's a once heralded recruit who had some early injuries in his career. Finally was able to get out there the past 2 years, showcase his skill set. Now he's moving on to the NFL draft, and he's a name that's starting to get a lot of buzz in this deep tight end class. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the film. Now, when you truly look at the strength of Thomas Fidone and where he will win the most in the NFL, it's a play like this. So here against Indiana, we see Thomas Fidone right here, detached as a tight end, and he's just going to run a simple, outside release, and then he's going to drag across the formation. But this is where he's at his best. He's not a quick twitch receiver. He's not someone that's going to beat you at the stem with speed and quickness. He has to build up his speed, and that's exactly what we see here against Indiana. He's got this safety right here covering him man-to-man. And at the release, because of where he's at, he's able to see that this guy's coming over and then break inside here, get position, and then accelerate here to get that advantage. He doesn't have the speed to run away from guys on a consistent basis, but he's got enough of that burst or enough of that speed to build up that on these longer, deeper routes, like this deep over, he's able to get enough separation. The quarterback's able to put that ball out in front of him, and he's able to reel off a 25, 30, 35-yard gain here, all because of that speed that he's able to build up and just using his 6'5", 245-pound frame to shield off the defender. And because Fidone has that ability to win down the field, seam routes, deep crossers, posts, even corners, that sets up him underneath. And he's going to make his hay, and he's going to have his most success on those deep routes. But like I said, it sets him up. So here, he's in the slot. Once again, he plays in line, detached, also in the slot. And here against Indiana, he's going to push up the field like he's going to run that deeper route. Once again, this defender is matching up with him. And then at the stem, he's able to just break quickly outside, get enough separation, extend out, and move the chains. They're backed up against the end zone. He's able to extend out there, make that catch, get the first down, give them more breathing room. And it's just that threat to push upfield, and then boom, just quick enough move at the stem to break outside. And that's where tight ends have success in the NFL, is creating that confusion at the stem. We don't know. What's he going to do? Is he going to carry deep? Is he going to break inside? And he just stutter steps quick, outside, move the sticks. And then continuing with that, we see this play here. So Fidone's now in the right slot once again, essentially detached a little bit from the line. And he's just going to come and sit down in this open area. He sees the safety playing off deep. He sees this linebacker or safety shooting out here. And he's able to just quickly sit down, give his quarterback a nice, easy target right here. Nice little 6-yard gain. And then we see right here, he's got some yards after the catch ability, some yak. And it's all, once again, not super dynamic, not super shifty, but just that ability to sit down, find the open spot, and then build up that speed and make enough moves to be able to take that 6-yard gain into a 20-yard gain. Just that quick, boom, let's build up some speed, make one defender miss. Hey, use my size to make it tough to tackle me, and there you go. 20-yard gain instead of that little 6. Now let's take a look at Fidone's hands and his ability to catch the ball. We've seen it, 3 catches prior to this. He's a natural hands catcher. You saw on that second clip of the out route, he was able to fully extend outwards to make that catch along, towards the sideline. Here, once we see him again, kind of detached from the line right there. And he's going to run one of those crossing routes like I showed at the beginning. Another example of how he's at his best. When he's running his best routes, it's stuff like this. And he's going to run here to this open area, but because there's a receiver's there, defender right there, the ball's going to be kind of put a little bit more on him. And I just love his ability to reach back and make that catch, to adjust to it. And we'll see it from the other angle as well. It's just that ability to adjust. He sees the ball coming, turn back, make that catch. And as a tight end, at his size, you're going to be a safety valve. And quarterbacks are just going to want to throw the ball up to you. And he shows that ability, once again, to just adjust back. The ball's coming a little bit further back to him. I'm just going to turn back, make that catch, move the sticks. And we see here, once again, they're backed up. Here's the first down marker. You know, they're second and 20 or first and 20, whatever it is. And it's just that ability to push deep and then know that you could throw him the ball and he's going to adjust and go get it first down again. All right, let's transition over to him as a blocker. So here we see Fidone in line. They're going to run the ball opposite. So at the snap, they're going to run this ball over here. And so he's got to seal off this backside defensive end. And what I love about Fidone and his blocking is he's a competitive blocker. He's not afraid to stick his nose in there and be physical. And so he does that on this backside, engages, hands. You'd love those hands to be inside, but he gets those hands outside, works them back in, and is just able to seal off and keep attacking at that defensive end to kind of keep him at bay. And it's not the best block in the world, but it just shows his competitiveness with his blocking. You know, put a shoulder, get his hands in there, fight with him, bend back, and just keep working to seal off that backside. And then we see it here, last play, another block. Here he is on the left-hand side. It's a goal to go, red zone, whatever it may be. And they're going to run, this is the receiver right here, they're going to run a little quick fly sweep. And they're going to use Fidone essentially as that lead blocker to get this defensive back. And so at the snap, once again, he's aggressive. He comes out, gets that good position. Once again, you'd love to see the hands go more inside, but he's able to lock him, occupy him, drive him back enough, even knock him down to allow his receiver to get into the end zone. Once again, it's just that competitiveness. That defensive back's a lot faster than him, a lot quicker than him, but he's aggressive, getting on him, keeping active, and just using that power to drive him out and give his wide receiver a lane to cut up and get into the end zone. There is a lot to like about Thomas Fidone as it relates to him in the 2025 NFL Draft. As I said, he's 6'5", 243 pounds. He's got the speed to push down the field, whether it's seam routes, posts, corners, and I think his specialty, those deep drags. He's not a prospect that you're going to draft early and build your offensive attack around. I think he's going to be a number 2 or number 3 tight end, but someone who's going to give you something in the pass game. You're going to be able to put him out there, and you're going to be able to have him run routes, and he's going to be able to hopefully, run to open spaces, get to spots where your quarterback's going to hit him. Blocking-wise, he's got the frame. I think he's only going to improve as a blocker. He struggles at times. He did get benched against, I believe, Wisconsin it was, because his blocking he missed a couple early blocks. And that hurt, that hurts him there. But he's a guy that didn't quit. He didn't pack it in. He continued to fight hard, came back the last couple games and was able to improve on his blocking and continue to contribute in the passing game. As I said at the beginning too, he was a highly rated prospect coming out of Council Bluffs, Iowa. He was, I believe, the number 1 tight end in his recruiting class, ahead of Brock Bowers. Now, injuries have really shaped his career so far. 2 ACL injuries cost him his first 2 seasons. I think it limited maybe some of his agility in short area. I also don't think he was used the best this past year. He broke out in 2023 essentially as their go-to receiver, him and Hendrik Harburg, the quarterback that year. really went to him and trusted him this past year. They had other guys. They tried to use him in these short little flat routes that didn't really work. And then as the season progressed, you started to see him used more on those deeper routes, and that's where he started to have a success. I mean, he did have 373 yards compared to the 260 the year before. No touchdowns this past year. He did have 4 the year before. So the production's not really there. Injuries are a concern. Past injuries, I should say. So that's what drops him down further. I think he's going to be a third-round pick, or I'm sorry, a day 3 pick. There's a chance he could go undrafted just because of the production and those knee injuries. You just never know. Some NFL teams might drop him off their board because of those knee injuries. Some might not. And so it just kind of depends on what teams are out there. It is a deep tight end class, so that could also affect him as well. But I think he's done enough. He did well at the Senior Bowl. Getting invited to the Senior Bowl was enough of an issue, that shows that teams are intrigued by him. But then he played well there. He tested well at the Combine. And so I think that's going to lead teams to maybe taking a chance on him on day 3. But like I said, there could be a chance he doesn't get drafted, but he'd be picked up pretty quickly as a priority free agent. All right, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for Thomas Fidone in 6 plays. If you like this video and you want more of them, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Press the bell to get all notifications when a new video is out. Make sure you follow me on social media, draft_Brian. Wherever you do social media, you can find me at draft_Brian. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Till next time.